And those are the videos that everybody loves. So like those are the videos that all go viral. And that's what blew up my channel. Like that's what blew me up. Knowledge, I'm like 12 times platinum. I have 2 Grammys. So it helps me leverage my platform with like accolades per se. Cause like those are the fancy fucking trophies that people want to see. Or I've always just like made fun of people that need to be made fun of. And so I was like, let me put this into like a segment that I'll do every week.
Are you building a community on a specific platform or you're more of a cross-platform?
I'm big in like Web 2. I have a podcast, and I'm
Yeah.
a content creator. Obviously, like, I'm a musician. So like my platform was built as a songwriter and producer. But then my podcast is like kind of blown up. And so I'd say like TikTok, Instagram, YouTube is like
Hmm.
where I have like my biggest community per se. And then Twitter. And then, yeah, trying to grow the on-chain audience.
Trying to do the same, but the other way around, like starting with the on-chain people and then expanding outward, like out of this bubble slowly. How long have you been doing your show on YouTube?
So YouTube has been like the hardest to grow of all of them, obviously, just because like the YouTube audience is like the most engaged audience. Like that's your long form. I drop like a weekly hour-long podcast, but like TikTok and Instagram, I have like 250,000 on TikTok. I have like 140,000 on Instagram. And those are just it's easier to grow that audience because the content that people are consuming is shorter and like more brainless. It's like a minute and a half clips. And a lot of people who follow me on there don't even know that I have a podcast. They're like, bro, you got to start a podcast, man, on my podcast clips. I'm like, guys, this is from the podcast. Like, this is the podcast. So just getting people to like go over, is more difficult. But yeah, I have like 65 episodes probably out.
You're covering all the different types of topics, right? Or do you have like a specific direction?
Like like my career is I work in music, so I'm a songwriter, producer, and the podcast began as I'm gonna focus on music and like my music knowledge. I'm like 12 times platinum. I have 2 Grammys, so like I have like it helps me leverage my platform with like accolades per se, because like those are the fancy fucking trophies that people want to see. So like the plan was I'm gonna have a music podcast. I'm gonna talk shit about the music industry because I've experienced just anything you can imagine, and I'll talk pop culture and I'll talk tech. So the other mission statement was like, let me demystify crypto and Web3 and talk about the intersection of AI and music. And like, because a lot of musicians are like, AI. And I'm trying to show people that like, it's not this big scary monster. And then at the end of my show, I have a segment called the FOHHOF, which is the Fuck Out of Here Hall of Fame. And I've been like a prolific shit talker on the internet forever. I've always just like made fun of people that need to be made fun of. And so I was like, let me put this into like a segment that I'll do every week. And those are the videos that everybody loves. So like those are the videos that all go viral. And that's what blew up my channel. Like that's what blew me up, really, were those videos. And so now I've had to like kind of pivot a little bit because like, working in music, there's a saying, or really a mantra, which is like you don't get to decide what a hit is. Like the streets decide what a hit is. So like same for you guys, like as you're looking to grow your Web two, platform, you might think this is what I want to do. Like this is the kind of content we want to make. But you might have something else blow up within that, like adjacent to that, and like that's what the streets want from you. You don't get to like there are a lot of artists who are like look at Sabrina Carpenter. Early in her career, she was like doing stuff that was leaning more like hip hop, like the production, the drums, was more like urban leaning. And then like turns out the streets want espresso and they want like Taylor Swift type pop music from her. And so like now that's where she's going to go. And there's so many examples of that in music that for me, working in music, seeing that play out with my own brand, I'm like, I would be dumb to like ignore this. So I'm going to keep feeding the streets the hits that they want from me because like turns out I'm good at this too and I enjoy doing this too.
It's very funny that you said that because like for us, we We were discussing how maybe we have to pivot into one of the directions that we were discussing maybe in the future and stuff like that, but actually start doing that. And that's going to be helpful to even differentiate ourselves, because I was doing like, listening to everything, everyone in the space, and I was just like, it feels like we're going in circles. Even so, the conversations and everything is always great, but it's not enough to stand out. Yeah, I think we are still in the experimentation to find that. Like one of these shorts is like one of the things I would say, because it feels definitely that people enjoy these more than the full
Yeah.
long form
It just
conversations.
helps promote the long form, you know? Like,
Yeah,
it's the only real way to promote it, to be
yeah,
honest. How long have
yeah.
you guys been making content?
I would say that we started actually in the beginning of this summer as like, trying to go fully into this. But we were doing the season one and season two since 2022 or one or two. That was basically our way of actually networking with people, because if you want to meet someone, you don't want to message them and be like, I want something from you.
Yeah.
Instead of it, you just want to, okay, let's have conversations about it. And this is how you start a relationship. And it was really fun and cool.
And Taco was doing a huge analysis about like all the content that's there about crypto and Web3, and she found that there's a lot of things that are just similar. We want to find something that stands out. So our meme, we have these like spicy cocktails. Los Fomos love spicy stuff, and we love spicy cocktails. So this is kind of our thing as well.
Yeah. You have to build it like a brand. If you look at all the most successful, I mean, outside of like podcasts that like are from famous people or like famous comedians, or content from famous people, the other way to do it is to build it around yourself and branding yourself and the show, right?